This is a hearing of the Financial Services Committee on the question of the extent to which consumers can successfully challenge inaccurate information on their credit reports. This committee, one of the great bipartisan accomplishments of this committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Oxley was the FACT Act, as it was called, which dealt with the ability of companies to deal with credit extensions. And one of the things we did in that was to expand the ability of consumers to get information about their credit reports. That was something of which we were very proud. It was an overwhelmingly bipartisan operation. Subsequent, and I want to give credit where credit is due, the Boston Globe in Massachusetts ran some articles in December, and I'm going to ask unanimous consent to put these in the record, which documented problems people were having in challenging what they believed to be inaccurate reports. Clearly, getting a report that you believe to be inaccurate is much less important than we had hoped it would be if you have problems in dealing with it. And there certainly needs to be that. Now, we did learn when we did that hearing that one of the problems was that people, for instance, who challenged what they believed were an inaccurate report stemming from a dispute with a particular merchant were at a disadvantage. That the practice of many of the merchants, we were told, the retailers, was simply to check their own paperwork. And if their paperwork showed that a mistake that a charge was incurred, they insisted on it, even if with no opportunity, no forum in which someone could say that wasn't me. And our purpose here is to look into this and to make sure that consumers who can document an error have a chance to do so. So that is the purpose for this hearing. We appreciate the representatives of the appropriate federal agencies being here. It is a very strong view, I believe, of many of us on this committee, certainly myself, that consumer protection not only is not antithetical to the appropriate functioning of our financial system, but in fact needs to be an integral part of it. We want people, when they buy things, to have a sense of confidence. And if people do not feel confident in the fairness of the system, then that's an obstacle to their full participation. We want people to be able to shop online or use credit cards, do whatever they wish, without any sense that they could be disadvantaged. I mean, that's an important part of protecting data privacy, which this committee will be dealing with later in the year, and it's an important part of today's subject. So again, I want to stress this is not, as some would pose it, a case of consumers versus the businesses. This is a seamless system in which we want consumers to be confident enough fully to participate in the economic system, and one of the ways to do this is to deal with that. So that is the purpose for the hearing. I would hope this is something that can be resolved without any legislative action. If people tell us that that's necessary, we would move to that. We will be dealing with legislation later in the year where this could be appended. But I'm hoping that we will be able to come out of this today with some agreement about how to resolve this. And it doesn't mean that any consumer can automatically say, I'm not paying, or that was wrong without any documentation. But there needs to be some way that consumers, in a reasonable way, can document the error. I now will recognize the gentleman from Alabama.